Jake Morrison walked into the big meeting room with steady steps. His black shoes made quiet sounds on the smooth floor. Behind him, Captain Lisa Barnes followed. Her uniform was clean and pressed. She looked straight ahead with serious eyes. The room was huge. Tall walls reached up to a ceiling covered in bright lights. 12 different types of aliens sat around a circle. Each species had their own special chair. Some chairs were tall for the long-necked creatures. Others were wide for the fat, round beings. Morrison had done this many times before. For 3 years he had come to these meetings. Every time he smiled and spoke nicely. Every time, the aliens treated humans like children. They laughed at human ideas. They said no to human requests. But Morrison always stayed calm and polite. Today felt different somehow. Morrison could not explain why, but something in his chest felt tight. Maybe it was because Earth needed help so badly. The colonies were running out of fuel. The mining ships could not find enough metals. Without the minerals from Kepler 442, human cities would start shutting down. The Zephyrian sat at the biggest chair. His name was Velthar. He had purple skin and 4 arms. His eyes were yellow like old coins. When he looked at Morrison, his face showed no respect. He spoke in a voice that sounded like he was talking to a dog. "So the baby humans want something again," Velthar said. The other aliens made sounds like laughing. Some clicked their teeth. Others made buzzing noises. They all thought it was funny. Morrison took a deep breath. He had practiced his speech many times. "Great council members, we come here today to ask for fair trade. We want to mine the Kepler 442 system. We can offer good prices for the minerals we find." A tall alien with 6 legs spoke up. This was the Altarian delegate. "Fair trade? You humans have only been in space for 50 years. We have been traveling the stars for thousands of years. What could you possibly offer us?" Captain Barnes felt her hands become fists. She had seen too many human colonies suffer while these aliens played games. Children on Mars were sick because they could not get medicine. The aliens had medicine but would not share it unless humans paid crazy prices. Morrison smiled his diplomatic smile. It was the same smile he had learned in training. "We offer our friendship and our hard work. Humans are good at building things. We are good at fixing problems. We can help make the galaxy a better place for everyone." The fat Proximan delegate rolled his 3 eyes. "Help? You cannot even keep your own planets working right. Your colony on Titan had a plague last year. You came begging us for help like scared children." That was not true, and Morrison knew it. Humans had asked for medical supplies during the plague. They had offered to pay full price, but the aliens had said no. They wanted humans to give up their only battleship as payment. Thousands of people died while the aliens played their games. But Morrison kept smiling. He kept his voice calm and friendly. "We learned from that experience. We are stronger now. All we ask is the chance to prove ourselves." Velthar made a sound like spitting. "Prove yourselves. You want to dig in our rocks and take our minerals. But what happens when you find something valuable? You will keep it all for yourselves. Humans are greedy. Everyone knows this." Morrison felt something hot in his stomach. His smile felt harder to keep on his face. Behind him, Captain Barnes was very still. She was trained to read body language. She could see that Morrison was getting angry, even though he was hiding it well. The meeting went on like this for 2 hours. Every time Morrison asked for something reasonable, the aliens said no. They wanted impossible things in return. The Altarians wanted humans to give them their best spaceships. The Proximans wanted 90% of all minerals humans would find. The Zephyrians wanted humans to work for free for 10 years. Morrison's assistant, Alex Carter, walked quietly to his side. Carter was young but smart. He carried a small computer pad. His face looked worried as he showed Morrison the screen. Morrison read the information quickly. His smile disappeared for just 1 second. Then it came back, but it looked different now. Carter had discovered something terrible. While humans were here asking politely for mining rights, 3 alien species were already stealing from human territories. They were taking minerals from rocks that humans had claimed first. Even worse, they were selling these stolen minerals to buy weapons for the hegemony. The hegemony was humanity's worst enemy. They had attacked human colonies before. They killed human families and destroyed human homes. Now Morrison learned that these same aliens who pretended to be peaceful were secretly helping the hegemony get stronger. Captain Barnes saw Morrison's face change. She had worked with him for 5 years. She knew all his expressions. This was the face he made when he was trying very hard not to get angry. Her hand moved slowly toward her weapon. Not to draw it, but just to touch it. It made her feel better. Belthar kept talking. His voice was full of mockery. Perhaps the little humans should go back to their little blue world. Come back in 100 years when you have learned how to be civilized. Morrison looked around the room. He saw 12 different species all looking at him like he was a joke. They had been treating humans this way for 3 years. 3 years of insults. 3 years of impossible demands. 3 years of watching human people suffer while aliens played their political games. Something inside Morrison's chest felt like it was breaking. Not his heart, but something else. Something that had been holding him back. The part of him that said he had to be nice. The part that said he had to smile and ask politely. The part that said humans had to prove they deserved respect. Morrison realized something in that moment. Respect was not something you earned by being weak. Respect was something you took. He started to laugh. Morrison's laugh was not the kind of laugh people make when something is funny. It was cold and sharp. It made the big room feel smaller somehow. The aliens stopped making their chattering sounds. They looked at Morrison with surprise. Captain, Barnes felt something change in the air. She had been in many battles. She knew what it felt like when violence was about to start. But this was different. This felt like something much bigger was about to happen. Is something amusing to the human? Belthar asked. His forearms moved in ways that showed he was annoyed. We are trying to have a serious discussion here. Morrison wiped his eyes. His laugh had made them water a little. Oh, it is very serious, he said. His voice sounded different now. Not angry, but not polite either. It sounded like he had stopped pretending about something. You know what I find funny? Morrison continued. He stood up slowly from his chair. For 3 years I have sat in this room. I have listened to you call us children. I have smiled while you made fun of our people. I have asked nicely for things we need to survive. The aliens looked at each other. Some of them seemed confused. Humans never talked like this in the council meetings. Humans were always quiet and respectful. Morrison walked around his chair. His movements were calm, but there was something dangerous about the way he moved now. Like a cat that had been sleeping but was now fully awake. 3 years, Morrison said again. 3 years of being polite while you treated us like pets. 3 years of saying please and thank you while our people died because you would not sell us medicine. 3 years of playing your games while you got rich and we struggled. Alex Carter watched his boss with wide eyes. He had never seen Morrison like this. None of the humans had. In all their training, they had been taught to be diplomatic. Never show anger, never make threats. Always be the bigger person. But Carter had seen the intelligence report too. He knew what Morrison had learned. While humans were being polite, the aliens were being thieves. While humans were following the rules, the aliens were breaking them. While humans were trying to build friendships, the aliens were helping their enemies. Captain Barnes moved closer to Morrison, not to stop him, but to support him. She had lost friends in the hegemony attacks. If these aliens were helping the hegemony, then they were not friends. They were enemies pretending to be neutral. The Proximan delegate made a gurgling sound that meant he was upset. Human Morrison, you are acting very strange. Perhaps you need medical attention. Your species is known for mental problems. That was the wrong thing to say. Morrison stopped walking. He turned to look at the fat alien with his 3 rolling eyes. Mental problems? Morrison asked. His voice was very quiet now. Is that what you call it when someone gets tired of being lied to? He pulled out the computer pad that Carter had given him. The screen was still showing the intelligence report. Morrison held it up so all the aliens could see it. Altarian ships have been mining in the Ross 128 system for 6 months. Morrison read from the screen. That system belongs to humans. We claimed it 2 years ago. We registered it with this council. You all voted to accept our claim. The Altarian delegates' 6 legs moved nervously. There must be some mistake. Proximan freighters have been stealing minerals from human asteroid bases, Morrison continued reading. They take the minerals at night when our workers are sleeping. They sell these stolen goods to buy weapons. The Proximan's 3 eyes stopped rolling. They focused on Morrison with what looked like fear. And the best part, Morrison said, his voice getting stronger. Zephyrian corporations have been selling military equipment to the hegemony, the same hegemony that killed 3,000 human colonists last year, the same hegemony that you all promised to help us fight. Velthar's yellow eyes went wide. How did you... I mean, these are lies. Human lies. Morrison smiled. But it was not his diplomatic smile anymore. This smile showed teeth. How did we know? That's a very good question, Velthar. How do you think we found out? The room became very quiet. The aliens were starting to understand that something was wrong. Humans were not supposed to have this kind of information. Humans were supposed to be the junior species. They were supposed to be weak and grateful for any scraps the older species threw at them. Captain Barnes spoke for the first time since entering the room. Her voice was clear and strong. For 3 years, you have treated us like we were stupid. You thought we could not see what you were doing. You thought we were too weak to stop you. You thought we would just keep smiling and asking nicely while you robbed us and helped our enemies. She walked to stand beside Morrison. Together, they looked very different from the polite diplomats who had entered the room hours ago. But here's what you did not understand, Barnes continued. Humans are very good at pretending. We are very good at watching and learning. We are very good at remembering who hurt us, and we are very, very good at waiting for the right moment to stop pretending. Morrison reached for his communication device. It was a small metal box that could send messages across the galaxy instantly. All the aliens had similar devices. But when Morrison activated his, something strange happened. His voice went out not just to human ships, but to every communication system in the council chambers. Somehow the humans had connected their device to the main broadcasting system. Every alien in the room could hear what he was about to say. Admiral Wright, this is Ambassador Morrison, he said in a clear, strong voice. A woman's voice answered immediately. It came through speakers all around the big room. Morrison, this is Admiral Wright. I have been waiting for your call. The aliens began to chatter nervously. This was not how diplomatic communications were supposed to work. The humans had no right to use the Council's communication systems. Admiral, Morrison said, still smiling his new, dangerous smile, I think it's time we stopped being so polite. Copy that, Ambassador. All human ships, this is Admiral Wright. Condition Red is now active. I repeat, Condition Red is now active. All units, you are weapons-free and ready to engage. The big room erupted in noise. Aliens were shouting and clicking and buzzing in 12 different languages. Some of them were trying to contact their own ships. Others were demanding to know what the humans thought they were doing. But Morrison was not done talking. You wanted to know how we found out about your crimes? He asked the room. His voice was loud enough to be heard over all the alien noise. We found out because we have been watching you for 3 years. Every meeting, every secret deal, every lie you told us. We recorded it all. We tracked it all. We planned for this day. He looked around the room at all the frightened alien faces. Today is the day humanity stops asking for permission. The main display screen in the council chamber suddenly came alive. It had been dark for most of the meeting, but now it showed a map of the entire galaxy. Little dots of light marked where different ships were flying through space. Red dots showed human ships. There were many more red dots than anyone had expected. Velthar stared at the screen with his yellow eyes wide open. This cannot be right, he said. His voice sounded scared for the first time. Humans only have a few dozen ships. Morrison looked at the screen too. He seemed pleased with what he saw. "Is that what you thought? A few dozen ships?" He laughed again. "You really did not understand us at all." Captain Barnes walked to the display controls. The aliens did not stop her. They were too shocked to move. She pressed some buttons and the screen changed. Now it showed more detail. "These are our cargo ships," Barnes said, pointing to a group of red dots near the Altarian homeworld. "Except they are not really cargo ships. They are warships disguised as merchant vessels. We have been building them in secret for 2 years." She pressed another button. More red dots appeared on the screen. "These are our exploration ships, except they are not really exploring. They are watching your military bases and taking pictures of your defenses." The Proximan delegate made a sound like choking. "You have been spying on us? That is against council law." Morrison turned to face the fat alien. "Council law? Like the law that says you cannot steal from other species? Like the law that says you cannot sell weapons to terrorists? Like the law that says council meetings should be honest and fair?" He walked closer to the Proximan. "We followed your laws for 3 years. We were good little humans who did what we were told. But you never followed the laws. You just pretended to follow them while you cheated and lied and stole from us." Admiral Wright's voice came through the speakers again. "Morrison, all human units are in position. We are ready to begin Operation Respectful Reminder." The aliens began talking very fast to each other. Operation Respectful Reminder sounded like a military attack. Some of them started reaching for their own communication devices to call their fleets for help. But when they tried to use their communicators, nothing happened. The devices made beeping sounds that meant, "No connection found." Alex Carter had been very quiet during all of this. Now he spoke up. His voice was calm, like he was explaining something simple to children. "Your communication systems are not broken, we are just controlling them now. We have been inside your networks for 8 months. Every message you send we can read. Every message you receive we can change. Every order you give to your ships we can stop." The tall Altarian delegate tried to stand up quickly. His 6 legs got tangled and he almost fell down. "This is an act of war. You are attacking the council." "Captain," Barnes shook her head. "No, this is not war. If this was war, you would already be dead. This is what we call a teaching moment." She pressed more buttons on the display screen. Now it showed real pictures from space. The aliens could see their own ships and bases, but there were human ships nearby that they had never seen before. "Your home fleet has 18 ships, Barnes said to the Altarian. "You think those 18 ships are protecting your planet? But look at this picture. Do you see those dark spots around your ships? Those are human vessels using stealth technology. We have 25 ships watching your 18 ships. They have been there for 3 weeks. Your sensors cannot see them." The Altarian's skin turned from blue to white. That meant he was very afraid. Barnes changed the picture again. "Proxima Station is your biggest trading post. Look at all those cargo ships coming and going. Now look at this enhanced scan. Every 3rd cargo ship is actually a human military vessel. We have been using your own trade routes to position our forces exactly where we need them." The Proximan delegate was making gasping sounds. He was too scared to speak. Morrison walked to the center of the room. All the aliens were looking at him now. Some looked angry. Most looked frightened. All of them looked confused. "For 3 years you treated us like children," Morrison said. "You thought we were weak because we were polite. You thought we were stupid because we asked nicely for things. You thought we were helpless because we followed your rules." He paused and looked around the room at each alien species. "But politeness is not weakness, it is a choice. Following rules is not stupidity, it is strategy. And asking nicely is not helplessness. It is giving you a chance to do the right thing." Admiral Wright's voice came through the speakers again. "Ambassador, I have Commander Phillips here with a full tactical report. Should I put him on the main channel?" Morrison nodded. "Yes, Admiral. I think the Council would like to hear what we have learned about their secret activities." A new voice came through the speakers. It was younger than Admiral Wright's voice, but it sounded very confident. "Council members, this is Commander Tony Phillips, Human Intelligence Division. I have some interesting information to share with you. The aliens were all very quiet now. They were starting to understand that the humans knew much more than they had pretended to know. The Zephyrian secret weapon facility on Kepler 69c has been under human observation for 8 months, Commander Phillips said. We have detailed plans of the entire base. We know how many workers are there. We know what kind of weapons you are building. We know where you are planning to use them. Velthar's forearms were shaking. Impossible. That base is completely hidden. No one knows about it except the highest levels of Zephyrian government. Morrison smiled. Wrong again. We know about it because one of our ships has been parked right next to it for 6 months. Your base is inside an asteroid, so you thought. No one could see it. But our ship looks exactly like another asteroid. Your own security teams have scanned it dozens of times and never realized it was a human vessel. The room was completely silent except for the sound of alien breathing. Some aliens breathed air like humans. Others made different sounds. Captain Barnes spoke again. We could have revealed all of this information months ago. We could have exposed your crimes to the entire galaxy. We could have started a war that you would lose very badly. But we did not do those things. Do you know why? None of the aliens answered. They were too shocked to speak. Because we were still hoping you would choose to do the right thing, Barnes continued. We were still hoping you would start treating us fairly. We were still hoping you would stop lying and stealing and helping our enemies. Morrison nodded. But hope has limits. Patience has limits. Politeness has limits. And today, you reached those limits. He activated his communicator one more time. Admiral Wright, please show our new friends what humanity looks like when we stop being polite. The display screen changed again. This time it showed the entire galaxy in real time. Every ship, every station, every important location was marked with colored dots. Red dots were human forces. Blue dots were Altarian ships. Green dots were Proximan vessels. Purple dots were Zephyrian fleets. What the aliens saw made them feel sick with fear. Human red dots were everywhere. They surrounded every major alien world. They blocked every important trade route. They sat next to every military base and every secret facility. The humans had not just been watching. They had been positioning themselves for this exact moment. Admiral Wright's voice filled the chamber. Ladies and gentlemen of the Council, welcome to the real galaxy. For 3 years you have been playing politics while we have been playing chess. Every move you made we planned for. Every secret you kept we discovered. Every lie you told we recorded. Commander Phillips spoke next. Let me give you some specific examples. Altarian Home Fleet, you have 18 battle cruisers protecting your planet. Right now, 17 of them cannot start their engines. You think this is a mechanical problem, but it is not. We have been inside your computer systems for 6 months. We can control your ships better than you can. The Altarian delegate tried to contact his fleet, but his communicator still did not work. He looked around the room like a trapped animal. Proximan, Trading Station 7 is your biggest moneymaker, Phillips continued. It handles 60% of all trade in your sector. Right now, every cargo ship trying to dock there is being told that the station is full. The ships are going to other stations instead. You are losing millions of credits every hour and you do not even know it yet. The Proximan delegate was making whimpering sounds. His 3 eyes were spinning in different directions. Zephyrian, Battle Group Alpha is your strongest military unit, Phillips said. 24 ships with the best weapons in your fleet. Right now, those ships are trying to respond to an emergency call from your colonies. But the emergency call is fake. We sent it. Your best ships are racing toward empty space while your real colonies are completely undefended. Velthar stood up so fast that his chair fell backward. This is madness. You cannot control our entire military. Morrison looked at him with calm eyes. We are not controlling your military. We are just showing you that we could control it if we wanted to. There is a very big difference. Captain Barnes walked to the display controls again. The screen showed a close-up view of Altarian space. Look at your homeworld, she said. Do you see those defense satellites around your planet? 24. Satellites with enough firepower to destroy any attacking fleet. The Altarian delegate nodded nervously. Now look at this enhanced scan, Barnes said. The picture changed to show the same area, but with different colors. Those are not all defense satellites. 8 of them are human vessels disguised to look exactly like your satellites. They have been part of your defense grid for 4 months. Your own military has been giving them security updates and maintenance schedules. The Altarian's skin turned completely white. You could destroy our planet any time you wanted. Morrison shook his head. We could, but we will not. We are not monsters. We do not kill innocent people. But we could shut down your entire planet without firing a single shot. No power, no communications, no transportation, no food delivery. Your people would be hungry and scared, but they would not be dead. Admiral Wright's voice came through the speakers again. All human units, begin Phase 2 of Operation Respectful Reminder. Show them what we have been building. The display, screen split into 12 different views. Each view showed a different part of space. In each view, something impossible was happening. Ships that had looked like asteroids were unfolding into battle cruisers. Space stations that had seemed empty were powering up massive weapons. Cargo containers that had been floating in space for months were opening to reveal fighter squadrons. My God, whispered one of the smaller alien delegates. How many ships? Do you really have? Commander Phillips answered. That depends on how you count. If you count only ships that were built as warships, we have about 200. If you count ships that can be quickly converted to warships, we have about 800. If you count every human vessel that can be used for military purposes, we have about 3,000. The chamber was completely silent. 3,000. Ships was more than some alien species had ever built in their entire history. But numbers are not the most important thing, Phillips continued. The important thing is that every human ship is exactly where it needs to be. Every human crew knows exactly what to do. Every human weapon is pointed at exactly the right target, Captain. Barnes changed the display screen one more time. Now it showed a side-by-side comparison. On the left was what the aliens had thought human space looked like. A few small colonies, a handful of ships, some mining operations. On the right was what human space really looked like. Massive shipyards hidden inside asteroids. Military bases disguised as research stations. Weapons platforms that looked like communication satellites. Supply depots that appeared to be empty space. We have been building this for 3 years, Barnes said. Every time you rejected our trade requests, we built more ships. Every time you insulted our diplomats, we recruited more soldiers. Every time you helped our enemies, we prepared for war. Morrison walked to stand in front of Velthar. The Zephyrian was much taller than the human, but somehow Morrison seemed bigger. You made a mistake, Morrison said quietly. You confused kindness with weakness. You thought that because we asked politely we were helpless. You thought that because we followed rules we were soft. You thought that because we wanted peace we could not fight. He looked around the room at all the frightened alien faces. But humans have been fighting for thousands of years before we ever left our planet. We fought each other. We fought our environment. We fought diseases and disasters, and every kind of danger you can imagine. Fighting is what we do best. Being nice is just what we choose to do when fighting is not necessary. Admiral Wright spoke one more time. Council members, you now understand your situation. Every critical system in your space is under human observation. Every important trade route is under human control. Every military asset you have is vulnerable to human interference. Morrison smiled his new smile. So now we are going to have a different kind of conversation. Not the kind where you make demands and we ask politely. Not the kind where you treat us like children and we smile and take it. We are going to have the kind of conversation where everyone speaks honestly and everyone gets treated with respect. He sat back down in his chair, but he looked completely different from the diplomat who had entered the room hours ago. Now then, let us discuss those mining rights in Kepler 442. I think you will find our terms very reasonable. The council chamber felt very different now. The aliens sat in their chairs like children who had been caught doing something wrong. Their proud attitudes were gone. The mocking laughter had stopped. Even the air seemed quieter. Morrison opened a folder that Alex Carter had given him. Inside were documents that would change everything. Let us start with the basics, he said. His voice was calm but firm. For 3 years we have been asking for fair trade agreements. You said no. Now we are going to explain what fair trade really means. He pulled out the first document. Kepler 442 mining rights. We claim this system and will begin operations immediately. We will pay the Council a 5% tax on all minerals extracted. This is the same rate that other species pay. Velthar tried to speak up, but the Council voted that humans must pay 20%. Morrison cut him off. The Council voted based on lies and cheating. Those votes do not count anymore. We are starting over with honest numbers. Captain Barnes stood behind Morrison's chair. She looked at each alien delegate carefully. We know that other species pay 5% tax on mining operations. We have copies of all the secret agreements. We know that you charged us 20% because you thought we were too weak to fight back. The Proximan delegate's 3 eyes moved nervously. Even if we agree to 5%, how do we know you will not just take everything? Humans are known for being greedy. Morrison laughed, but not in a mean way. Greedy? You have been stealing our minerals for 6 months. You have been selling weapons to our enemies for 2 years. You have been lying to us for 3 years, and you call us greedy? He pulled out more documents. Here are the records of everything you stole from us. Altarian mining ships took 2.3 million tons of rare metals from the Ross 128 system. Proximan, traders stole 890,000 tons of crystals from our asteroid bases. Zephyrian Corporation sold 45 billion credits worth of weapons to the hegemony. The aliens looked at the papers with fear. They had not known that humans were keeping such detailed records. We want all of it back, Morrison continued, plus interest for the time you kept it from us, plus damages for the people who died because we could not build the things we needed. Admiral Wright's voice came through the speakers. Ambassador, I have the final calculations from our accounting department. The total amount owed to humanity is 847 billion credits plus the return of all stolen materials. The number made several aliens gasp out loud. It was more money than some of their worlds made in 10 years. That is impossible, Velthar shouted. We do not have that much money. Morrison nodded calmly. We know you do not have the money. That is why we are prepared to accept other forms of payment. He pulled out another document. Complete access to your medical databases. Humanity lost 3,000 people in the Titan colony plague because you would not sell us medicine. We want all your medical knowledge shared freely with human doctors. Captain Barnes added, full access to your educational systems. Human children should learn the same things that alien children learn. We want our people to have the same chances for success. Commander Phillips's voice came through the speakers. We also want full membership in the Council, not junior membership, not trial membership, not probationary membership, full membership with all the same rights as the founding species. The aliens looked at each other with worried expressions. These demands would change everything about how the galaxy worked. The Altarian delegate tried to negotiate. Perhaps we could offer partial medical access and limited educational sharing. Morrison shook his head. No more bargaining. No more half measures. No more treating humans like second-class citizens. You had 3 years to be fair to us. You chose to cheat instead. Now you get to live with the consequences. Alex Carter stepped forward with a new computer pad. We have prepared 3 different agreements, he said. The first one is very generous. Humanity gets everything we asked for, but we pay normal taxes and follow standard council rules. Everyone wins. He handed copies to the aliens. The second agreement is less generous. We get what we need, but you get higher taxes and stricter oversight. The third agreement is not generous at all. We take what we need and you get whatever we decide to give you. Morrison stood up from his chair. The choice is yours. We can go back to being friendly neighbors who help each other. We can be neutral, business partners who trade fairly. Or we can be something else entirely. Captain Barnes walked to the display screen one more time. The galaxy map was still showing all the human ships in position. Our ships are not going anywhere until this is resolved, she said. We can wait as long as necessary, can you? The aliens started talking to each other in their own languages. They were arguing about what to do. Some wanted to fight. Others wanted to surrender. Most were just scared. Admiral Wright's voice interrupted their discussions. Council members, I should mention one more thing. The hegemony fleet that was planning to attack human colonies next month? The fleet that you were secretly helping with weapons and supplies? That fleet no longer exists. The chamber became completely silent. We found their hidden base 3 weeks ago, Wright continued. We destroyed their ships, captured their leaders, and freed all their prisoners, including 847 humans who had been slaves for the past 2 years. Morrison smiled a real smile for the first time that day. Those prisoners are home now. They are safe with their families. They are alive because we stopped being polite and started being effective. He looked around the room one more time. The age of humanity asking for permission is over. We tried doing things your way for 3 years. It did not work. Now we do things our way. Velthar slumped in his chair. His 4 arms hung limply at his sides. What happens if we say no to all of your demands? Morrison's smile disappeared. Then you find out what humanity looks like when we stop holding back. And trust me, you do not want to see that. Captain Barnes added quietly, but we hope it does not come to that. We would rather be friends than enemies. We would rather build things together than tear things apart. We would rather have peace than war. Morrison sat back down and folded his hands on the table. The decision is yours, council members. Choose wisely. The great chamber was quiet except for the sound of breathing and the soft hum of electronic equipment. Outside, human ships waited patiently in the darkness of space. They had waited 3 years for this moment. They could wait a little longer, but not much longer. The time for asking politely was over. The time for making demands had begun. And everyone in the room knew that humanity was very, very good at getting what they demanded. The age of respect had begun.